Michael here, and in this video journal, the next part 2, I'll start by drilling the pilot holes through the peg head for the machine heads. I will mark the peg head profile out on the back of the peg head, and then I'll cut it out on the bandsaw. I'll trim the heel shape, and I'll cut the neck to width to the red line. I'll trim the heel tapers, and final sand the peg head profile, and then I'll drill the machine head holes. Keep watching. The next thing that I need to do is to go ahead and drill the 1/16 of an inch pilot holes all the way through the peg head here. So I'm going to take these over to the drill press and drill those out. Okay, now that I've gotten my machine head pilot holes drilled through the peg head, it's time to go ahead and kind of rough cut out my peg head shape. And to do that, I'm going to do that on the bandsaw, but I'm going to cut with it face down. So what I want to do is to use those holes as a guide, and I've just got a little, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, it's just a real thin piece of clear plastic that is the same shape as my peg head. And I'm just going to use a couple little toothpicks through those 1/16 of an inch holes to hold it in place on here. And it's flexible, so I can get it right down there to my peg head. And I'm just going to take a red pencil and mark my peg head outline. Okay, now I can take that over to my bandsaw and trim proud to that red line. Okay, I'm ready to cut my peg head shape out proud on the bandsaw, but I want to make a couple of little relief cuts right here, so when I get over on the back, I can get those pieces out. Okay, while I'm still over here at the bandsaw, I want to go ahead and fine-tune my curve to my heel on both of the heel blocks here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those two out. Okay, and the next step, now that I'm over here still at the bandsaw, is to go ahead and trim my fingerboard width proud all the way down to my heel block. And I've taken just a little block that'll level the distance between the bottom of the neck and the fingerboard to match my heel. While still over here at the bandsaw, I'm going to go ahead and saw off this angle here that my heel is going to make as it tapers down, so I don't have so much carving to do later on. The next step in the procedure is going to be to fine-tune the shape of the peg head here. And in order to do that, I'm going to use some robo-sanders. And I have a plexiglass template that I have made that I use that has the same 1/16 of an inch holes drilled all the way through where the peg head machine heads are going to be. And I've taken it, and I have it screwed to one of my peg heads. I've got some rubber washers underneath that will help lift it up a little bit, space it between the peg head itself and then the template here. And I'm going to take it over to the drill press where I have some sanding drums mounted. I'm going to go ahead and sand that down. Okay, I've got my little robo sander, which has a little bearing on the bottom that will ride around on the edge of my template here. And I'm just going to sand it down to Okay, now that I've gotten really close with the rough grit sandpaper, I've switched over to a little finer grit here to kind of sand some of those sanding marks out. And then I'll switch to a smaller robo sander and do these areas down here. Okay, gotten down to where I need to be with this sanding drum. I can switch out to the smaller one and do my little chorus down here. I've switched out to my smaller diameter sanding drum. Okay, that's one down. Now I'll mount the template on my other neck and sand it down. Well, I've got my jig set up to cut my machine head holes, and the machine head is a stepped piece, so it has actually two holes, smaller hole through the front and a larger hole for the housing through the back. And this is a special bit that's already designed like that, so it makes it easier for me to drill. I've already set my depth gauge, and I have it on this little sled, which makes things easy to work with. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill a test hole. Okay, that's what we need. We've got the proper depth. Clamp this back in here and drill the rest of them. Okay, there we go. Well, I'll stop here on this video journal, the next part 2. Join me next time when I'll continue working on these necks for my Ambrosia Maple guitar builds. If you'd like to support the channel by buying me a coffee, there's a link down below. And thank you so much for watching.